Gary Sinise was born as Gary Allen Sinise on March 17, 1955 in Blue Island, Illinois. This is a working-class place south of Chicago. Gary Sinise had a time when he was little. His parents did not stay together. This had a big effect on Gary Sinise. He felt unsure about things. When Gary Sinise was a teenager, he did not know what he wanted to do. School was not very exciting for Gary Sinise. He just went through the motions. Did not have any big plans or dreams. Gary Sinise has talked about this before. He says that he did not have an idea of what he wanted to achieve. He was not the type of person who liked to rebel. He was always feeling restless. The things that people normally did just did not feel right for him. He felt like he did not fit in with the ways of doing things, and he was not sure where he was supposed to be or what he was supposed to do with his life. The traditional paths that were laid out before him just did not feel like they were for him. He was unsure of what he was meant to become. Everything changed for Sinise when he found theater in school. Theater was a deal for Sinise. It was not something he did outside of class. Theater helped him a lot. He liked going to rehearsals and learning his lines. He also liked working with people to put on a show. This gave Sinise something he really needed. Theater made his life more orderly when it was really crazy. It also gave him friends when he felt alone. Sinise felt like he finally had something to hold on to. Sinise was different from some young actors. They wanted to be famous away. Sinise loved the whole process of acting. He loved theater and everything that came with it. He really liked the work that went into making a movie. This included the hours that people spent making the scenes just right. He also liked the trust that the actors had in each other. He liked that the people who made the movie had to be honest when they told a story. The fact that he liked these things much would become a big part of his career in the movie business, specifically in the work that he did the movie career that he had. In 1974, Gary Sinise was 19 years old when he started the Steppenwolf Theater Company with his friends Terry Kinney and Jeff Perry. They were a group of young artists who wanted to do something big. At first, they performed in church basements and school auditoriums. Over time, the Steppenwolf Theater Company became one of the most important theater companies in America. Gary Sinise played a role in making the Steppenwolf Theater Company what it is. The company liked to show feelings and tell stories that were true to life. They did not want to make things look perfect, they wanted to make them real. The Steppenwolf Theater Company was about being honest and showing the truth, and Gary Sinise was a big part of that. Sinise was an actor, and he also directed and helped guide the people he worked with. He wanted to make sure that the whole group worked together as a team than just a few people trying to be stars. The ensemble, which is the group of actors, was more important to Sinise than any one person being a big deal. Sinise helped create a culture where the ensemble was the thing, and that is really important when you are putting on a show. Sinise and the ensemble worked together to make something. Steppenwolf's philosophy was a lot like what Gary Sinise believed in. The story was the important thing, so no one person was bigger than that. Every single role was just as important as the others, even if it was a part. This way of working is what made Steppenwolf special, and it eventually got them known all over the country and a place to call home in Chicago. Steppenwolf showed everyone that you do not have to be in New York to do challenging theater. For Gary Sinise, the years with Steppenwolf taught him some things that would stick with him for a long time, like being loyal, humble, and working hard, and always believing in the power of teamwork and Steppenwolf. Sinise's move from the stage to the movies was very thoughtful. He did not give up doing theater to work in Hollywood. Instead, Sinise started working in film in the serious way he worked on the stage. His big break came in 1994 when he played the part of Lieutenant Dan Taylor in the movie Forrest Gump. This role got him a nomination for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. It also had an effect on the people who watched it. Lieutenant Dan Taylor was a soldier who got hurt in the Vietnam War. He had a lot of problems like not being able to use his body while feeling guilty for being alive and not knowing who he was anymore. Sinise played Lieutenant Dan Taylor in a real way. Gary Sinise played this character without feeling sorry for him or trying to get people to feel sorry for him. The way Gary Sinise acted was real. He did not overdo it. It was really sad to watch because it seemed so real and honest. What really made the role of Lieutenant Dan stand out was that Sinise did not try to make the character's pain any less painful. He let Lieutenant Dan be really angry and bitter and lost. This really meant a lot to veterans because it was honest, and they could relate to it. Regular people were also affected by the role because it showed them that trauma is not something that can be easily fixed. The role of Lieutenant Dan really showed that Sinise is an actor who can show deep feelings and complicated moral issues. Forrest Gump was a movie for Gary Sinise. After that, he was in a lot of films. Some of these movies were Apollo 13, The Green Mile, Ransom, Snake Eyes, and Mission to Mars. Gary Sinise kept choosing roles that were about being in charge and doing the thing. He played people like astronauts and soldiers and police officers. These people often had to make choices. Gary Sinise did not pick these roles by chance. He liked playing these parts because he respects people who serve and sacrifice for others. Gary Sinise believes that you can be strong and still care about people at the time. Television gave Gary Sinise a lot of attention again when he played Detective Mac Taylor on CSI, New York. This show was on the air from 2004 to 2013. Gary Sinise played Detective Mac Taylor as a strong and fair person. He was the person in the show. Detective Mac Taylor was a person who really cared about people and wanted to do what is right. He was not like a lot of characters on television who are mean or confused. Detective Mac Taylor was a leader. He listened to people more than he talked. Gary Sinise showed that Detective Mac Taylor was a leader because he did the right thing, not because he wanted to be in charge. Sinise's performance showed that he really cared about the people who were hurt and he wanted to find out what really happened. He made it clear that being professional and being a person are not mutually exclusive, they can actually go together. Sinise's performance was about respecting the victims and finding the truth no matter what. This is what Sinise's performance was trying to say, that professionalism and being human are not on sides. The show was on for a long time, and that made Gary Sinise a familiar face in many homes around the world. People trusted Gary Sinise. What Gary Sinise did had an impact that went beyond the show. It actually helped people think about what it means to be a good leader and to be responsible. Maybe the most important part of Gary Sinise's life is not even about acting at all. Forrest Gump had an impact on Gary Sinise. He saw how tough life was for veterans. Gary Sinise did not just want to do something that would look good. He wanted to help. In 2011, Gary Sinise started the Gary Sinise Foundation. The Gary Sinise Foundation helps wounded veterans, people who are still serving first responders, and their families. The Gary Sinise Foundation does a lot of things. It gives homes to veterans who were badly hurt, so they do not have to pay for a house. The Gary Sinise Foundation also helps people who are struggling with their feelings. It puts on events to make people happy. The Gary Sinise Foundation gives things to people who serve. This was not something Gary Sinise did to get attention. This thing turned into a mission for me. The mission became a part of my life. I was completely focused on the mission. Gary Sinise also started the Lieutenant Dan Band, which is named after the character he played. He uses music to reach out to the troops and their families. The Lieutenant Dan Band has given hundreds of shows at military bases, hospitals, and events that celebrate our country. Gary Sinise does this because he wants to say thank you and connect with people. The Lieutenant Dan Band performances show that Gary Sinise really believes we should do something to show we care about the people who serve, not just talk about it. So Sinise did a lot more than just act in movies and help people. He also did voice work for projects. His voice is really good at making people listen. It sounds very friendly. He uses voice for things like Magnificent Desolation, Walking on the Moon 3D, Open Season, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, and Beyond Glory. When Sinise talks about history or tells stories, his voice makes you feel like he is being honest and serious. Sinise is also the voice of Disney's Mission, space attraction at Epcot. He helps millions of people who feel like they are really going on a journey through space. In the year 2017, Sinise got an honor when he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This star is at 6664 Hollywood Boulevard. This was a deal because it showed that Sinise had worked really hard for a long time. He did a lot of things like acting in plays and movies and on television. He also did some good things to help people. This star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame means that Sinise is a person who does work and does not get into trouble. It means he is a person with substance, not someone who just wants to be famous. The star is for Sinise and all the good things he does, like his work in theater, film, television, and service. It will always be a reminder of Sinise and what he has done. Sinise's personal life has been filled with a lot of love and some tough times. He married Maura Harris, who's an actress, in 1981. They have been together for a long time. Their marriage has been a thing in a business where people are always coming and going. When Maura Harris found out she had breast cancer in 2018, Sinise and his family had to deal with a difficult time. They went through a lot of work and tough moments, but they always stuck together. Maura Harris got treatment. She was very strong. She also got a lot of support from her family. By 2024, Maura Harris was cancer-free, which just shows how strong Sinise and Maura Harris are. He got really upset about people not caring and not being committed to the project. He came from a theater background where everyone works together as a team, so he did not like it when people thought they were better than others. For Sinise, working together with people was very important. When someone's ego got in the way, it messed up the thing. After a while, all the unresolved issues made him feel disappointed. He knew that being angry all the time was not good for him. He thought it was more important to be honest than to be nice to everyone. Peter Sinise said that his feelings were not about competing with someone or who was the most talented. His feelings were about doing what is right. He thought that when someone shows they do not care about the team effort, it means they do not share the values as everyone else. As time went by, Peter Sinise did not feel as upset as he used to. He still remembered the important thing he learned from the experience. Even when people are pretending to be something they're not like, in the movie industry, real feelings and real arguments can still hurt people for a long time. Gary Sinise's story is not one of controversy, but of conviction. It is the story of a man shaped by discipline, service, loss, and unwavering belief in the power of shared purpose. His legacy endures not only through his performances, but through the lives he has touched far beyond the screen.